What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, there have been a ton of headlines that have run concurrently throughout the year, and most of which have focused on Fantastic Four casting for the behind the scenes in the MCU. But given the fact that there was a writers and actors strike and for most of the year, we know there was really no movement on that. Now they have their backs up against the wall to finally get the team cast as they're closing in on the filming date. Now, one role that we had heard has been offered to a ton of actors was Mr. Fantastic, but we're going to switch gears just a little bit here, because breaking late this afternoon and from a trusted industry insider source, apparently Ryan Gosling is now reported to be in talks with Marvel Studios for a role. We're going to talk about where this scoop dropped, what it exactly said about him meeting with Kevin Feige, and because this is not the first time that we've heard Ryan Gosling's name tied to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he himself has already weighed in on what role he'd like to play. He's been tied to roles in the past, and there's one that looms on the horizon that really needs casting. We're breaking down all the latest, and apparently Ryan Gosling now meeting with the MCU for a possible role. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel, and that's all we do. Everything from official Easter egg breakdowns, trailers, and reviews to the occasional industry insider report and everything in between. So if that sort of thing's for you, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. That will automatically enter you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway. The next one is right around the corner in less than 2 weeks to coincide with What If finale, and then another one right after that for Echo's drop in January. Again, all you got to do, be a sub, leave a comment. If you want, stick around to the end of the video. We get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so the update today came from trusted industry insider source Daniel Rickman. You can follow him over on Twitter at RPK News. He revealed via his Patreon this afternoon in late breaking that Kevin Feige and Marvel had recently met with Ryan Gosling for a role in the MCU. Now, this is not the first time we've heard Ryan Gosling's name come up and tied to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as I briefly mentioned during the prologue. The first rumor to circulate was when the Nova project was confirmed to be in pre-development at Marvel. Some people came out and said that Ryan Gosling was going to play Nova. Now, he was asked about this because he was on a press junket at the time, and he finally weighed in and said that he didn't want to play Nova and he didn't know where that rumor came from, but if he was up for a role in the MCU, the character he would like to play was Ghost Rider. Now, Kevin Feige incidentally was asked about that, and a couple of days later, and said point blank that if Ryan Gosling wanted to be in the universe, that's what he said, in the universe, that they could find a role for him. And now knowing that he's on tape declaring he'd like to be Ghost Rider is extremely exciting. Where there's smoke, there might be some fire, pun totally intended. But it would be remiss in not mentioning the fact that they are actively casting the Fantastic Four, and right now, and by a lot of reports, have not locked in any of the roles, although we're hearing Pedro Pascal is the only one to sign. Now, I don't really think Ryan Gosling lines up with Mr. Fantastic or Reed Richards that well, but if he wanted to play the role, you have to imagine that he would be the type of actor, the ilk that they're looking for in a Hollywood A-lister, but I'm not going to go as far to tie him to that because by all reports, Pedro Pascal is locked in. However, you cannot dismiss the synchronicity of the fact that we have been reporting and constantly that Marvel Studios may be looking to pivot away from Kang into a new villain in Doctor Doom. Also, this would be the time to mention that that's another character he's been tied to in rumors stemming back from around summer through September of this year. According to certain industry insiders, he was up for the role of Doctor Doom. And while I gotta admit, maybe he wouldn't have been my first choice to play Victor Von Doom, I also respect his acting and think that he could pull it off if he were put in that role. Now, I should also mention that there have been reports of active casting for Doctor Doom in the last month or so. We've actually reported on 2 names here at the channel, the first of which we heard in almost a month ago that Mads Mikkelsen may be up for a recast after playing Kaecilius as Doctor Doom in the MCU, and then just 2 or 3 weeks ago we also heard that Cillian Murphy was actually Marvel Studios' first choice to play that role, and these coming from trusted industry insider sources. To me, again, while I always tell you guys to take rumors with a grain of salt, this may indicate that they've been actively casting for Doctor Doom alongside the rest of the roles for the Fantastic Four, which means if Ryan Gosling is meeting with them at this juncture, that's possibly what he's meeting about. But this is all completely conjecture, and just because Ryan Gosling said that he wanted to play Ghost Rider doesn't necessarily mean that's the role he's going to play. We know that from the MCU. But what I would say is that Marvel Studios has had quite the track record, and in all 4 phases, bringing in these Hollywood A-listers only to burn them in a one-off scenario villain role, which means it could just simply be for one of those, because especially for an actor as ubiquitous as someone like Ryan Gosling, that's a lot more attractive of a proposition. Hey, just come in for 1 film, you'll be defeated by the end anyway. You don't have to worry about committing to, say, 10 years in 8 movies, like Doctor Doom is going to need to be a commitment, and especially in the next 4 to 5 years as they film the end of Avengers Secret Wars. One other thing I will say though, guys, as I've had a chance to sleep on it and sort of in the wake of everything that's happened over the last week, I think Marvel is in an impossible position with trying to recast Kang. I know a lot of people came up with Jonathan Boyega sort of concept art today and started posting that to Instagram, and the comments were absolutely trashing them. I think it also came out that Jonathan Boyega weighed in and said he doesn't want to take that role. I don't think anybody's going to want to take that role, and hey, I might be wrong here in equating the two, but I think this is a lot like when James Gunn got wrongly fired off of Guardians of the Galaxy. People started floating Taika Waititi's name out there to direct it only because he had just directed Thor Ragnarok, and he immediately said no. That would be like someone coming in and taking James' kids and saying, okay, I'm your dad now. The analogy making that that's just not his to play, and I think a lot of actors would look at the reality of what this role is and the connotation now, and that it will be impossible for Marvel either way to try to have someone fill in that role. I'm not saying there won't be actors lined up who will take it. There will be. I just think it's going to be problematic, period. That's why I think switching to Doctor Doom rather than trying to recast Kang is the best way forward. Again, this isn't just fan theories trying to just will the people into doing it the way that has happened in the comic book community and sometimes in the past. Remember, Variety did report on Doctor Doom being discussed as an option earlier internally in Marvel. That, to me, is the best way forward. And if it is Doctor Doom, guys, how do you feel about Ryan Gosling playing that role? Again, I would like to see him as Ghost Rider, but you know what? I think he could pull it off. I'd be down for it, especially compared to some of the other names that have been floated out there recently. I also think Cillian Murphy would have been an awesome Doctor Doom, but you guys let me know your thoughts down in the comments as always. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. All right, we are still giving away PlayStation 5s here at the channel. The next one is less than 2 weeks away to coincide with the finale of What If on December 30th. Then one after that should be on December 9th when Echo drops. I think we've confirmed that release date. So 2 in the next 30 days. If you want to be entered to win or for any of the other future giveaways, all the same rules will always apply. Hit the subscribe button because you need to be a subscriber, then leave a comment down below. Because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will always be announced live with my voice in the comments shown on screen, so please be safe and vigilant on YouTube, really any platform. We normally have been safe now for the last year or so, but I know that some of these scammers are still on other YouTube channels in the comments hanging out saying that you've won prizes, and we're going to start up a daily comic book giveaway in just a couple of days on the 22nd to coincide with What If, when the watch parties start, and that seems to attract them. So if you ever get anybody in the comments claiming to be a content creator and telling you that you've won, just report those comments to YouTube. No one's ever going to try to get you to Telegram them or WhatsApp them. No, it's all just a scam to get you to try to pay for shipping. No YouTuber will ever charge you for shipping. Really, no content creator will if you've won a prize. So be safe and be vigilant on any channel, on any platform. If you get comments like that, just report them to the platform. All right, the best way to keep up the content here at the channel is to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. And as always, if you like today's video, I'd appreciate it if you hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. Find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at IamFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, wherever you listen to original music under the name AllFires. And while I sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.